Carlos Santana hates these musicians, but for good reason. Many mocked him, insulted him, and even told him he had no talent. And the most painful part, several of them were artists Carlos deeply admired. Today, we will uncover the 10 musicians Carlos Santana hates. And I warn you, some names are going to surprise you. Let's begin. Number 10. Gene Simmons. Opposites often attract, and when that happens, the most likely result is an electric shock. That is exactly what happened between Gene Simmons and Carlos Santana. The KISS bassist is not just a successful musician, he is a global businessman commanding an empire. The KISS logo and brand can be found on merchandise ranging from action figures to coffins. While Gene Simmons embodies boundless ambition and music as a permanent business, Carlos Santana has been preaching the opposite for decades. From calling the stage an altar to speaking openly about music as medicine, Carlos is not concerned with expanding his empire, but with reaching more souls. There was no direct contact, but Gene and Carlos did say things about each other publicly. The short circuit between them came through indirect statements. Carlos said that if someone needs a plastic tongue to get people to look at them, then that is Las Vegas-style entertainment, and they are not real musicians. 5 years passed before Simmons responded. He called Santana a beginner, someone who had no idea what a rock show was, and said that all he did was stare at his shoes on stage, a stage he should get off. Carlos possesses a peace and spiritual composure that turn his music into a journey toward unknown territory, seeking transcendence in every note. They could never collaborate. Anyone who sees his instrument as a money-making machine belongs to a very different universe from Santana's. Number 9. Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones are one of the greatest and longest-running rock bands in history. They still play packed venues around the world and continue releasing albums. Much of their fame is rooted in controversy. They used to provoke the media and carried the reputation of being the bad boys of the scene. But there is one song in particular that is considered one of the most controversial of their career. Despite being a timeless classic that made Lennon and McCartney dance, its lyrics speak of something Carlos cannot even bear to think about. Carlos Santana is a brilliant, spiritual musician who speaks about connections with the divine and about his conversations with angels who guide him. He has said many times that he loves the Stones, but hates one song in particular. Yes, we are talking about Sympathy for the Devil. In public statements, he has said that the Rolling Stones do not know what they are getting into when they sing that song. It was during an interview with NME that he admitted he liked the rhythm, but said the lyrics were directly dangerous. If they knew what they were getting into when they sing that track, they would not do it. The devil is not Santa Claus. He is real. The Rolling Stones never acknowledged Carlos's remarks, and Sympathy for the Devil remained part of their set list on at least 800 occasions. Only a guitarist like Santana, with that unique sensitivity and connection, could see beyond the musical wonder. True to his style and temperament, he did not lash out at the band. He simply offered them public advice. If, like me, you think Carlos Santana is one of rock's most iconic guitarists, hit like and subscribe to Millennium Rock so you do not miss any of our documentaries. Let's keep going. Number 8. Miles Davis. Miles Davis was one of Carlos Santana's greatest idols. He was a beacon of inspiration, and his daring spirit, always willing to bend the rules of music, gave Carlos permission to explore a similar universe through his own compositions. But not everything would be love and understanding between these icons of instrumental music. Miles would not return the compliments in the same way, creating a deep wound in Carlos that he carries to this day. After the stars met, Santana got access to Miles's most human side, and he ran from it. Miles treated him as if he were just another rock guitarist, placing himself and jazz above everything else as superior truths. But that was not all. In an interview in the 1980s, Miles called Santana just a noisy hippie on an eternal acid trip. His words cut Carlos deeply, and instead of seeking revenge, Carlos used noble silence to process the wound and move forward. There were no inflammatory statements, but there was deep disappointment and a quiet distancing. Although Carlos continued to admire Miles Davis's unmatched musical genius, he added him to the list of idols he wished he had never met. Number 7. Ted Nugent. Knowing even a little about Ted Nugent's career and reputation, it is not hard to understand why Santana and this rocker will never be able to understand each other. In this case, they are not only opposites in music and business, but in their deepest values. On one side, Nugent is a constant serial hater on social media, firing off comments loaded with profanity and traces of racism, classism. He has used his fame and his wild stage presence to represent the most conservative side of American thought. On the other side, Carlos, born in Mexico, has always been a fierce defender of migrants, indigenous peoples, and the idea of music as a bridge across political differences. Santana has used his fame and his globally successful career to spread a message of love that embraces the world and erases divisions. He said it in a 2017 interview. "Music should uplift us and not chain us to ignorance." He also said he was not interested in the opinions of people who lived in fear and preached it. Specialized media proposed many possible targets for those unsubtle but unnamed remarks. Ted Nugent was one of the main names pointed to. Nugent himself called Santana a delusional hippie with a guitar and mocked his accent. In fact, that same year, he had publicly attacked Black Lives Matter and Latin artists of Shakira's stature. In Santana's universe, where love is the source of inspiration, someone like Nugent cannot sit at the table. Carlos's peaceful style and spiritual composure allowed him to address him indirectly and continue on his path. Number 6. David Gilmour. David Gilmour is the guitarist of Pink Floyd, one of the biggest progressive rock bands in the world. His processed, polished, perfectly measured, and intensely melodic style made him an absolute guitar icon. In the Floyd universe, every element is a small part of a gigantic puzzle, obsessively assembled over months, and in some cases, years. Santana, on the other hand, embodies the raw instinct of blues rock. He is always searching to tune into what surrounds him and experiment, letting himself be carried by the music. His improvised, fierce, and unmistakable style sits exactly at the opposite pole from Gilmour's. Although there has been no direct controversy between them, statements from Santana such as, "You can have 10,000 pedals, synthesizers, and lights, but if there is no soul in the music, there is nothing," can be understood as a direct message to him. Not only that, he has also said things like, Pink Floyd's songs make him think more than feel, which, coming from Carlos, could hardly be considered a compliment. But beyond the controversy, nothing in Santana's universe speaks louder than his silence. The lack of invitations, collaborations, and words of praise reveals the distance in the way they understand music. While Santana pours himself into cutting through the air until he touches your heart, David Gilmour polishes a diamond for you to admire. Number 5. John McLaughlin. John McLaughlin shared more with Carlos Santana than anyone else on this list. They were musical brothers. So much so that in 1973, they joined talents to record Love, Devotion, Surrender together for their teacher, Sri Chinmoy. The album was certified gold, but what was happening behind the scenes did not match its sales success. Tension between the musicians grew, and Carlos later told the media that he felt John was trying to compete with him. In Santana's universe, music is a healing force that elevates people. Ego has no place in that conversation. Yet Carlos felt that John McLaughlin wanted to overshadow him and push him out of the picture to feed his own. This not only led Carlos to break up the duo and distance himself from the renowned jazz musician, but it also left him with a deep scar. Disappointment can cut deeper than anger, and Santana felt betrayed by someone he considered a brother. For Santana, McLaughlin's spiritual competition was a way of using the devotion they both shared for personal benefit, and that was more than Santana could bear. The decision was not easy, but Carlos and his spiritual composure remained unshaken, always walking forward. Number 4. Liam Gallagher. By the end of the 1990s, the Gallagher brothers were sitting comfortably at the top of the music world. A flood of commercial hits and the love of a fervent audience placed the lads from Manchester in a privileged position. Santana, after 2 decades of triumphs and setbacks, spiritual searching and experimentation, returned to the covers of every magazine in 1999. His stellar comeback with the album Supernatural, guided by Clive Davis, was packed with guests and songs that would make an entire generation dance. Songs people still dance to today. The arrogant Gallagher brothers' statements did not take long to arrive, and he publicly said that he not only found Santana irrelevant, but also mocked guests such as Rob Thomas and Lauryn Hill. Soon, Supernatural took flight and won 8 Grammy Awards and 3 Latin Grammys, was certified 15 times platinum in the United States, and is estimated to have surpassed 30 million records sold worldwide. The song with Rob Thomas, Smooth, was the standout hit and spent 12 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. True to his style and composure, with media silence, music, and a flood of hits that put him back on top, Santana answered Liam firmly and with numbers. The message of passion and unity that runs through Supernatural and the way it reached millions is clear proof that love defeats hate. Number 3. Gregg Rolie. It is one thing to defend yourself from wild rockers and egomaniacs. It is something very different to do it with a member of your own band. Gregg Rolie is the voice behind hits like Evil Ways and Black Magic Woman. In fact, Rolie and Carlos shared the legendary stage at Woodstock '69. One behind the keyboards and singing, the other making history with his guitar. But Santana's unmatched curiosity and hunger for sonic exploration led him down new paths, and internal tensions grew. Rolie, for his part, accused Carlos of having abandoned the band's original path, the vision with which they had created it. Carlos, in turn, accused Rowley of not being open enough to let new influences make the band's sound blossom in other directions. Rowley left the group in 1972 and founded another successful band, Journey, with Neil Schon, who had also played in Santana. Even though the things they had said left deep marks on both of them, they managed to record together 44 years later with the release of Santana 4 in 2016. Only music could heal their differences and rise above ego and confrontation. Number 2. Eric Clapton. The closer the betrayer is, the more painful the result. Eric Clapton and Carlos Santana have shared the stage on multiple occasions, and they even recorded a song, The Calling, which won them a Grammy in 2000. Eric Clapton is considered the greatest white figure in blues. His serious, impassive profile, born on the hard and cold streets of England, gives his guitar a precise and unmistakable lyricism. He has played in legendary bands and shared the stage with the greatest musicians in history. Not only that, he has sold more than 100 million albums over the course of his career. Santana, on the other hand, is an ancestral shaman carrying a sincere message of love to the masses through his guitar. There is nothing cold in the way he plays. It is pure visceral force and chemistry when he improvises, an explosion at every concert. The heat of the streets of Tijuana gave him a Latin soul that always shines through his music. On the surface, these differences seemed to bring them closer, but Carlos carried an old pain, a wound that would never heal. At a concert in Birmingham, on a night in 1976, Eric Clapton made deeply racist comments while drunk, calling for England to be returned to white people. In later statements, when Carlos Santana was asked whether he would collaborate with Clapton again, he said he respected his talent, but not his heart, because there are things not even music can erase. Although Clapton apologized to him, for a fervent defender of cultural diversity and a tireless advocate for minorities, there are values that cannot be negotiated. Now tell me, which of these rivalries did you not know about? And which one surprised you the most? Write it in the comments. We read every one of them. Number 1. Jimi Hendrix. I know what you are thinking. And yes, I was surprised to learn this story too. Carlos Santana believes Jimi Hendrix was a virtuoso, a force of nature, and a musician like no other. Both had their moment of glory on the Woodstock '69 stage. Santana never hid his admiration for Hendrix. He even called him one of the greatest ever to play the instrument. But the figure, the image, and most importantly, the ghost of Jimi haunted Santana for decades. Every time he did something important, released a successful single, or put out an incredible album, the comparison was inevitable. Is he as good as Hendrix was? That parallel, in Carlos's eyes, chained him to the shadow of a giant and erased his individuality. The Latin blood, the warm streets of Tijuana, and the African influence are all part of Santana's sound and music. Even so, the media felt the need to place him in the same category as the ultimate idol of psychedelic blues. Although he could never hate Jimi's music, Carlos Santana came to hate the weight it had over him. True to his style, instead of getting angry with the media or the public, he kept releasing albums to forge a legacy and a message so powerful that they cannot be compared to anything else. As you have seen, Carlos Santana's career was marked by unforgettable collaborations and rivalries as intense as his own talent. But nothing compares to the moment when a single song changed his destiny forever. Click now and discover the song that turned Carlos Santana into a rock legend. I'll see you there, rock friend.